So last night was pretty rough. The swells were so big, the boat was rocking extremely, which wasn't too bad. I actually just moved my bedding to the cabin floor so I could pin myself between the settees. Not a problem. I went to sleep. Had I dropped like a stern anchor as well, like is suggested in a lot of anchorages here, it wouldn't have been a problem, I don't think. There's a little fishing boat that came up right after sunset and dropped their hook not far from me. They have a bunch of lobster pots in the back. I looked at them, you know, and they're not a sailboat, so they're sitting there happy as can be. The problem was at like 12:30 at night, the anchor alarm goes off. And no sound has ever pulled me out of a deeper sleep, I tell you, instantly. I got up, I looked at it. It wasn't much. And the worst part of the like sort of swell and stuff was already done. It wasn't rolling that bad when it went off. And I was like, well, that's strange. And I looked at it on the computer, I looked at it. There was a little bump where you could see it was like outside of the ring before. Now in open CPN, which I'll show you in a second, it makes you set it up in meters, which I don't know very well. So I was like, well, maybe I did the math wrong on my radius. Or maybe I was like lackadaisical about what number I put in. So I double checked the numbers. It all seemed within range. And you could see there was a little bump outside the ring, which I was like, well, that's strange. I got up, went outside, looked. It looked fine. It didn't look like it was pulling taut or anything. So I was like, well, you know, I'll just reset the alarm and see what happens. I reset it. 10 minutes later, it went off again. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I got up. I let out like another like 40 feet of road so that all my chain was on the floor, the sea floor. And now I'm in like 29, 30 feet of water. It's the tide's up. And I mean, I was in 29, 30 feet of water before I let out the extra road. And then I let out 40 feet and I, you know, start the engine to set the hook just to make sure it's set. And had trouble starting the engine. It would start, but it didn't want to start. And yeah, it was a little sad. And finally got it started, running, reversed, reset the hook, checked it. It was super taut. Like, you know, all seemed fine. And it turned out fine. The alarm didn't go off again. I'll show you now what it looks like on open CPN. So you can see like this is my original pattern. This is the little bump I was talking about. Right, it said I drug. And then when I reset, this is chaos when I reset it. And then after resetting it, I stayed right in this spot. So, obviously there was something to be said about it. So, that was my night. I haven't even had coffee yet. Just wanted to film this for you guys so that you could get a feel for, you know, what it felt like this morning. The sun's coming up right now. The sunrise is kind of muted, but so now I have to determine if I'm going to go back ashore. Probably not. I ended up pulling the dinghy up last night because it was banging on the boat. I'll probably just move on to Pelicans as soon as the wind picks up. And it looks like it should be more protected than this one. But I still love this anchor. It's really cool. And if I had a stern line out, which I'll do next time I do any of these islands, I'll drop a stern anchor on every spot. Alright, on with the day. Oh man, what a lifesaver. Chris and Jerome of Miss Mae, which my grandma's name was Eva Mae. Look at that, they hooked us up. He said there should be about 2 quarts in here. So stoked, what a relief. Huge thanks, can't thank those guys enough. They're picking up lobster, dropping lobster pots. I'm not gonna curse lobster fields, lobster pot minefields nearly as much now. But man, oh man, huge stress relief off. Nice dudes, wouldn't take any money at all, you know. I rode up and they're like, another day in paradise. Super cool guys out of Santa Barbara. So the crew of Miss Mae, lifesavers, thank you so much. One final shot of my open CPN anchor alarm. It's cool to see where the boat's wobbled about. Getting everything in order to head out. Super cool guys out of Santa Barbara. Chris, Captain Chris, deckhand Jermone, Miss Mae. So the crew of Miss Mae, lifesavers, thank you so much.